All right, physical science students, we are going to go over some lab safety symbols. Hopefully this is review for you since you're all in high school and above the age of 5. So here we go. So today we're going to identify some lab safety symbols and safety practices that should go along with these symbols, so when we need to learn that. And then we're going to explain the reasons behind safety, and then analyze some common safety violations and also do some recommendations. So glassware. So we're never going to use broken glassware. If you happen to pick up a beaker or an Erlenmeyer flask like this thing or a test tube and you see any chips or any breaks in that, please let me know immediately. We never heat glass that isn't thoroughly dried, and that can cause your glass to crack or to break. We're going to use heat-resistant gloves or tongs to pick up our glassware. I will have more heat-resistant gloves just because we have better control over how we pick that up, basically like oven mitts. And we always clean our glassware thoroughly before putting it away because we don't want to have that cross-contamination happening. We're always going to wear safety goggles when using glassware because if you heat up glass too much or you cool it down too quickly, it can crack and break apart, and we don't want any glass going into our eyes. So anytime we're going to be using fire, we're always going to have our safety goggles when we're working, and we're never going to heat anything unless we're instructed to do so. So if you're doing an experiment and you have 2 beakers and one beaker is meant to go on the flame and the other one is not, please make sure you know which one is which. You're never going to heat anything with a closed container, right? Because if you heat all that stuff up, it's going to cause all that pressure and it's going to burst. We're never going to reach across the flame, right? Because that's how you catch on fire. And you're always going to use clamps, tongs, those heat-resistant gloves to handle your hot objects. Or we never touch something hot with our bare hands. And you always want to keep your work area clean. Being clean and being organized is how we're going to have the best lab results possible. And a known location of the fire extinguisher and fire blanket, which I will show you that in class. So chemical safety, right? We never just stick our face into a bunch of chemicals. We're going to waft or cause the smell to come towards us. We never mix chemicals unless instructed to do so. We're not going to touch or taste chemicals unless instructed to do so. If we're doing a lab with popcorn or marshmallows and I say, do not eat this, you do not eat it. We're going to keep all lids closed when dealing with chemicals that we're not using. We're going to dispose or throw away as instructed. So sometimes we may have to dump things down the sink. Sometimes things may need to go in a special trash can. Just make sure you're paying attention and reading your instructions. And then you're going to immediately rinse with water any chemicals that get on your skin, your clothes, or you're going to notify me as quickly as possible. We will be doing labs where we're going to be using bleach. And if that gets on your clothes or on your skin, you're going to need to wash that off with soap and water. And of course, we're going to know where the shower and eye wash station is, which once again, I will show you in class. So for our eye safety, we're going to look super cool in these goggles. Glasses are not goggles, so if you wear glasses, you're going to have to wear the goggles over them. When heating up test tubes or bottles, we're always pointing things away from you, so that way if anything happens, hopefully the accident will happen further away from your face. Any sharp objects, so anytime we handle anything sharp, we're going to handle them with care. We're always cutting materials away from us. This includes with scissors, right? Even with baby scissors. If you happen to cut your skin, I need you to notify me immediately. So that way we can get you all taken care of and cleaned up. Electrical safety. So don't plug more than 2 appliances in any one outlet. Remember, I have plenty of outlets in my room and we can always spread out if we need to. We're never going to touch an electrical appliance or outlet with wet hands because water conducts electricity and you don't want to get electrocuted. We're going to keep liquids away from those appliances and outlets for the same reason that water conducts electricity. On the physical science level, we are not going to be dealing with animal safety, but maybe in the future, we don't want to cause or hurt the animal. We don't want to perform inhumane stunts. And we always want to wash our hands after handling those animal cages. So then we're just going to do a little review. So what does this stand? What symbol does this go with? What symbol does this go with? What symbol does this go with? What do you think this symbol stands for? What about this one? Or this one? What does this symbol stand for? And there you can have your matching activity. This would be a good thing to put into your notebook, just kind of keeping things organized of where everything needs to go. Some of these we can figure out, right? Fire safety probably goes with the fire. Glassware probably goes with the glassware. Chemical safety probably goes with the chemical symbol. So these are you can kind of figure out as you go through. All right, and that is it. So if you missed your lab safety notes, this is where you can find them and get them in your notebook and get your points and be safe.